said they are neutral. 1%, 3%, 0.3 said they are neutral. And the 3 again said 3.1%, 3% said they don't know. None, they are not happy. Then another percentage came up to talk of they don't like the entire government. Then 1% abstained. They don't ask us any questions. After sampling 2,000 people so far that we talked about on the social media from yesterday, we have sent out another sample. Continue making your no or yes. And a few comments. No abusive language. Simply state, are you happy with the judiciary? Say yes or no. Will they deliver justice? Say yes or no. But this afternoon, that's not the topic in the People's Courts. The topic in the People's Courts is devolution in Kenya. Has it worked? Does it work? Will it work? Will it generate money? Devolution elsewhere in Africa and in the world has worked. In Australia, it has worked. In Israel, it has worked. In Germany, it has worked. India has the most successful devolution. Singapore, Malaysia, those are countries that you have traveled, which have also equally traveled. So we are going to compete on this platform today with none other than Dr. Nelson Seche. Welcome to the show, my brother.
Thank you very much.
Yes, let's go. It is a people's court, and the people will ask you questions.
Yes.
They want answers.
Yes.
Is devolution working in Kenya?
I would say yes and no. 2 reasons. One, I think Kenya, we were not yet well prepared for devolution. It was the time for it, but I think we needed more preparation. If you see how the governors are handling the counties, especially the first-time governors, it's very, very bad, not very good. My opinion, I think we need to build more capacity for the county governments.
You have to build more capacity for county governments.
Yes.
Are county governments aware that there is need to build capacity? Because you might be telling
that
people,
is now the problem.
You might be preaching to people who don't want your message.
I think that is...
am I wrong on that?
You are very right.
In Kenya, you might be preaching to people who don't want your message. Our county governments are very ready to take your message that you must start looking for other ways of funding your counties.
The biggest problem is when you don't know your problem and you can't appreciate the problem you have. I think looking at what the county governments are doing, Dr. Matsanga, you've gone to school. What would be the difference between the legislative conference and the devolution conference?
Surely, every Kenyan is asking, why didn't they put this conference in Kirinyaga? Isn't this waste of resources? The president is telling us everywhere that this conference, and as you can see, viewers, it has come. We have just brought it from Kisumu. It's live on our platform. The other side you can see for yourself, Doc. There you are. And it is here. It is now back here on your screen. People are saying, what was the use of this conference?
Yes.
When we had a conference in Kirinyaga, why didn't we put this conference together so that you value the people? You see, the problem of Kenya and many African countries, we are not valuing the common man.
Yes.
We don't see what is going on with a common man without food and is paying taxes. You are giving him taxation to pay for your conferences. 7 of them. They are going to give you a budget of how much this conference costs. You might know. You might even have a heart attack. Luckily enough, you are a very good man. Yes. So go ahead,
Dr. Matsanga. It is very wrong to have a country like Kenya. Now, Today, if a Kenyan was asked, what was the purpose of the conference for Kisumu and one for Kirinyaga? I will tell you, I think very few Kenyans know the difference.
That's in the government.
We would rather have the resources used for Kisumu, would have had it to build capacity for MCS. The MCS to be able to legislate proper regulations in the counties.
I would like to ask,
but,
yes.
but Dr. Matanga, the MCS are not doing that. The MCS are fighting governors. They're the next government. They want to blackmail government.
So why don't we, let's be honest, this is Africa. We must help Africa. We must help this country. We must help these countries in Africa. Otherwise, we might have too many of cartoon nature in this world. Now, because people are being pushed to the wall. For example, why should an MCA fight the governor? And
when in the reason they're supposed to be helping the governor to govern the
MCA is supposed to help the governor to govern the county.
Yes.
The MCAs are fighting the governor. The governor is fighting the senator. The senator is fighting the governor.
Yes. So
now, how do we go about it?
From statistics, before we say what we can go about it, from statistics, most of the senators for the first term graduated to become governors, or they attempted to be governors. A good example is Kakamega, where Dr. Boni was a senator. He wanted to be governor, and a number of them there's a repeat of the same. So the point is, are we missing the point of devolution? In my opinion, I think we are missing it. We are supposed to build capacity for the county governments and the MCS. MCS are not even aware what is supposed to be done at what point. Not all of them. Now they are doing benchmarking. You are going to benchmarking in Russia for, I don't know, whatever. The best way is to involve the Kenyan citizen, in my opinion. If we don't involve the citizen of Kenya, we are going to miss the point. Shall be wasting resources. Dr. Matsanga is very painful. If you go to a hospital now, you see the patients lying down the floor, not being treated or not getting medication in good time. Look at what's happening in other counties, Turkana, the drought situation. Can we use this for something else, this resource, instead of having to have 2 days, 3 days for legislative, then we have another days for devolution? My problem is we are not able to identify the difference between these two. And Kenyans, even in Kisumu, who are there, they don't know what they're talking about. Today, very few Kenyans know about the role of a senator. They actually will ask the senator, you've not done the road for us. Haujatufanyia barabara. That was the work of a senator.
Nelson,
they don't know.
Nelson, you are an expert in funding and resourcing. You have funded your resource for big organizations worldwide, including the African Union, including conferences that you hold for other organizations. Have you ever tried to bring a blueprint as an African to the people of Kenya and to the government and to the national government to tell them that there are other alternatives that we can use to fund this? Some of the activities are useless. For example, that conference in Kisumu, to my own conscience, the conference should have not been there.
Yeah.
We had the MCS would have also come to Kirinyaga.
Yes.
If it is meeting the president, they should have met the president in Kirinyaga. We are doing austerity measures here. But there is a section of other people in the world, not only in Kenya, even in Uganda, who prefer these conferences. What bewitched us in Africa? I want you to be candid. In Africa, people are complaining about the Chinese. They say Chinese are too many. But Chinese don't have these conferences. Am I right?
You're very right.
Yeah, go ahead.
And there's some question you've asked, and I don't want to miss the point of what you've asked. You've asked, do I think there's a blueprint I could have brought to Kenya or proposed to Kenya? I want to assure you, I'm in discussion with the Minister for Devolution. I want to give a proposal for what can be done for county governments. And this is a solid practical example that is going to lead into Kenya being sustainable. If you talk about sustainable development in Africa and globally, as Kenyans, the citizen of the Kenyan, the local Kenyan, the small Kenyan, we call the Wanjiku, doesn't even know about devolution. What he wants is that he wants food, he wants health, he wants water, he wants sustainable livelihood and education for the kids. Once that is done, it's done. Now, we're having a Chinese blame, say the Chinese are doing this, they are doing this, they're not doing this. Now the question becomes, when there is Africa-China conference, can it be done in Nairobi? Must it be in China? Can we bring it in Nairobi if we have to build the capacity for Africans? We cannot blame Chinese very much because Chinese don't know what they know what they want. We do not know what.
Okay, looking at this conference in Kisumu.
Yes.
You see, you said, you Chad, CG what, UKA, UDI, UDF. I'm not interested in this. I just want to bring the point home. Are we, or have we sunk to this level up to today that as Africans, we prefer to go for conferences in Intercontinental Hotel? We've talked, have you not seen one thing?
We are a boardroom nation.
A boardroom nation.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Policies are made in the boardroom, they end in the boardroom.
Yes. Is
very,
this
very good?
Don't you think boardroom nation brings more corruption?
Yes.
Where's the source of corruption?
Inside the boardrooms. Now, these conferences that are happening, do we even get the conclusions, the reports, where they left last time? What were the milestones? What are the next steps after this? What have we achieved? What have we not achieved? What are the gaps? How do you do the monitoring and evaluation for the conference? That is my concern as a citizen. And regularly I would look at it like, if a Kenyan was to wake up in the morning and one day is told, we are now in the Kenya of 1945, I think many of them will prefer that way. Many Kenyans will prefer that way. Why? Because now there is no sense of ownership of our country. We don't own it.
Corruption has eaten us.
It's part of us.
Because we start,
strange, Dr.
the meetings start with boardroom arrangements on how contracts are going to be given. Is it our mistake, or is it the mistake of colonial masters who brought the syndrome of boardroom business, but a boardroom nation?
Dr. Matsanga,
talk about this boardroom nation.
The boardroom nation.
Yes. Even what is it? The viewers would like to know.
This is a nation that has not decided to come out of the boardroom. It is still in the boardroom, in the conference room, in the boardroom. Entry is restricted. In a civilized nation, apart from having this
wearing badges.
Yes, you have badges with. Yes. You take photos, you post. Now you have had a very good conference. That is fine. But I'm saying, but we are saying, does a Kenyan, the common Kenyan, know what you have said inside there? How do you even pick the criteria? This money, if it was to be used for development of the capacity for the MCS, the CECs, then that would make a difference. But from where I sit now, I think very few MCS know their role. Most of them, they are very busy fighting governance. And
as an expert on funding, one of the things that people claimed will come up in the Kisumu conference is capacity building,
yes,
budget facilitation, and some of accountability, the conflicts between the governors and the MCAs, which you have touched on, and between the senators,
yes,
and the governors. And then also the conflict between the senators and the parliament.
Yes.
You see that conflict, the role, the law, seem to be the one bringing.
To try to
yes,
see who is superior, who is bigger.
Now,
you see, the National Assembly says we are the upper house, the Senate says we are the upper house.
Yes.
You know, those kind of things.
Is that what has retarded or tend to retard?
On resources, Dr.
Yes.
Matsanga, before you forget on resources, I think it is important for us as citizens of this country to identify that we have the capacity, we have the resources in this country. Why would I pay an MP salary? Then I pay him allowance. So what is the purpose of the salary, Dr. Matsanga? So if I send you and you have my staff, I have to pay you for allowance for going? How much allowance are you going to pay the MCS in the conference that's happening now in Kisumu and in other place? How much are you going to put? Is it part of the budget? Can we budget as expeditious as that? We do very quick conference. Tomorrow we'll see another conference for speakers of county assemblies. Then there'll be another conference for CECs.
And
then another conference for chief officers. Then another conference for
women MCAs.
Then another conference for
go name it. It is.
There are so many. So
we have become a boardroom nation.
Yeah, boardroom nation.
A boardroom nation indeed. Kenya, a boardroom nation.
We've got to make,
where deals are made.
Dr. Matsanga.
No, where deals are made. Don't jump. I'm with you. Are deals made in this boardroom nation?
Yes, that's what this is.
Corruption begins from bedroom nation.
Scratch my back.
At least today, I have found one reason, one root cause of corruption is through the boardroom nation. A nation that sits. You find so many people in the big hotels
documents
with bags being given. Have we lost it?
Dr. Matsanga, Kenya has the best documents. Talk about the law, talk about the policies, talk about the methods of fighting war. If you look at those documents and you share them on a global stage, somebody may think Kenya is a very serious nation.
Yes.
But we are not very serious.
They write a lot of documents.
Serious documents. The outcome of the
board. Oh my God. You've done it today.
Documents?
In the people's court. Kenya becomes a people's court. And therefore, Kenyans are saying too much of boardroom meetings.
These conferences, where are they going?
The money that is wasted in conferences.
I want to hear one day MCS.
And the titles.
Yes.
I want you to talk. You are an expert on capacity, benchmarking.
Dr. Matsanga, there's no better way to benchmark from within. If you hear the county in Kitui, or there's a county in Machakos, there's a county in Turkana doing very well, why can't you go and visit that county instead of going to another country out of the place? I was speaking to one of the MCS somewhere else. I can't mention the name. He was saying he cannot come to Nairobi by road because it's very risky from Western. It's very risky. It's very, very risky to come. The road is not very good, so it's very risky for him.
So he has to fly from Kisumu or from where?
Kisumu to here, and then you'll hire a car from here to wherever the place is going, to Nairobi. You cannot come by road.
Risky in terms of... I want us to go back and pause a bit. You can see behind the banners, you said, and you UK'd. Have we adopted the syndrome that Britain went through 200 years ago or 3?
I think we are there.
Are we there or we are inside?
We are Dani.
We are inside. Because you said, and the UK are still teaching us, are still sitting us down.
Yes. Dr. Matsanga, I want to assure you, if you go to the United States of America and you say you are an MCA, nobody will recognize you.
Did we rush too much?
That's what I'm saying. Devolution is a good concept, but I think we need to build capacity before I think we bought the towels before delivery. So I think that was not very good for us. We couldn't just buy.
When you talk about towels, you can bring the Arodam and the Kimerero. So because people bought the towels to swim in a dry dam, there were no towels, there was no water. So let's not go there. Today is not a good day. Today is on this conference. The significance of this conference, what was it that they are going to tell us that they spent about 40 million?
40 million? I think it's more than 40 million.
40 million or 100 million in organizing this conference. What is the benefit of this conference? What you said, even if it is not your money, even if it is money from UK, or you say,
Dr. Matsanga,
this money could be used for something different.
Dr. Matsanga, let us assume we are very stupid.
Yes.
Me and you. Let us try to occupy that position and say, okay, we don't have any brains. Let's say the conference was very important, it was required, it was mandatory. Do you know how many people are in that conference? They enter 5 minutes, they sign, they were in, they were off again. They'll be moving around to see the town, how everything is moving. You'll meet them in hotels discussing other things, not even what they brought them to Kisumu. And these are members of society that we have to respect. Conference ends and begins when the president is coming to launch or the CS is coming to open. Everybody's inside. After he leaves, the media goes, everybody goes. So whatever you do there is not important until the last day again. Then it gave us a very good report. Proper. You'll see the report, you'll be shocked. Properly done, well designed, printed, hard copy, very nice. Then you would assume, I think we made progress. There isn't much progress we've made. In my opinion, we have wasted.
Let's touch the performance of assemblies. Of late, assemblies have become a fighting ground.
Yes, you lift chairs, you beat.
People are fighting. People are hitting each other. People are blowing each other. Soon they will shoot each other.
Yes.
And because they all have acquired guns.
Yes.
And I believe they are also going to bring a motion for them to be equipped with bodyguards of assemblies. Yes, because the rate of Kenya is going.
You remember the first time it was very difficult for them to even leave the flag. They were saying even we need a flag.
Yes. So let's look at that. The assemblies are bickering. Factionism. Factions. The role of politics has gone into assemblies. That assemblies prefer certain people to be governors in the future, certain people to be presidents in the future, because these are the key points to the community. How do you bring this to order?
My assessment will be one, we've got to identify the standards for this MCS. There must be a bare minimum decorum requirement for the MCA. It is very wrong to see members of county assembly or the representative of the people fighting, lifting chairs. Is that democracy? Is fighting democracy or is hooliganism? When people are doing this, right now a governor who is very serious with a strategic plan, and that we are going to come to CIDPs, I'll talk to you about the CIDPs shortly. Governor wants to do a very serious thing, is determined to do this, but he can't do it because he's held up by political threats. If you don't do this, we'll do this. We can impeach you.
Look at the governor of Samburu. He had all the resources, utilized them very efficiently, did he? Got his own petrol station. Cars of the county went there to take petrol, and they removed the money from the bank and shared with his executive. Isn't that great? Look at the fights in the assembly. They are here on your screen. People fighting. Fighting has become the norm of this MCS.
And that's why I told you in the morning during your call, I told you, it seems to be normal to be a bit a hooligan. The more you're a hooligan, the more you're allowed.
Is it our mindset?
I think it's something we have decided.
Is it our mindset?
But Dr. Matsanga, there is hope. We can change.
Before we come to I am going to give you a lot of time to speak about your hope. I'm now just introducing you. We are in the first quarter of the hour. I'm introducing you to this toughness. Is it hope? Where is the hope? Where is the hope? In Addis Ababa, in Ethiopia, you won't find a Mr. X entering and you say that's the minister.
You can never see this.
You wouldn't know the Minister of Education in Addis Ababa, would you?
You will not.
You wouldn't find a Minister of Education in Addis Ababa flying to London with you in a business class.
No.
They go economy.
They go economy. The Prime Minister of Ethiopia uses Ethiopia Airlines.
So what has caused us a problem?
I think...
And you in particular, in East Africa, you seem to be the only island of peace and also an island of peculiar behaviors.
Corruption.
No. I can't say corruption is one of the good names that we can give Kenya. Kenya is very significant on peace, an island of peace. But I want to see, where did this come from? This idea of conferences, this idea of writing us books, very nice documents, paper. Professors in the university coughing paper. Does it go back to our format of political setting?
Yes.
And education?
Our political setting is bad, is the bad one. Number two, the voters don't even know what they need. If voters were to be serious and say, look, we are not going to vote you in because of 1, 2, 3 principles, we'll be having very good leadership. The only problem, our voters are not even also decided. A good fraction of our voters are not very educated. So I think the leaders we see today, we deserve them as Kenyans because that is what we do.
Thank you very much, viewers. Dr. Nelson Shetere himself is here, an expert in funding, sourcing, and capacity building for institutions that want to do capacity building. He's with us in the studios of Punchline Africa, the Pan-African station itself. Those watching us from Cairo, Addis Ababa, Botswana, South Africa, Harare, Kinshasa, Accra, Lagos, Cote d'Ivoire, Abidjan. Thank you very much. Bring your questions. I can see very many of you. Jerry from London, thank you very much. Any questions you have for an expert, he's in the house. Does devolution, has it worked in Kenya? Are these meetings necessary? Dr. Shisere, let me come back to you. Performance of county assemblies, workers, wastage of public...
Do you have performance?
Hey, break it. I am bringing the thing for you. Bloated workforce, ghost workers, wastage of public resources, corruption, abuse of office have been featuring in counties. As we speak now, we have about 10 governors or 15 governors under siege. The one of Busia is in court. The one of Migori is in court. The famous one of Kangaroo, cowboy style of Samburu is in court. Who else? The governor is in court. Several governors are in court. Some for serious offenses, some for offenses related to abuse of office, ghost workers. Oparanya the governor of Vihiga the other time found some ghost workers. I think also Oparanya found some ghost workers. Is there any county in this country, devolution? Is there any county that has impressed you as a person, doctor?
As a person, I think it is relative because impression is it's totally different. When it comes to performance, of course, devolution has made a few steps, but let us not celebrate. It's too early to celebrate. I know now people are able to see a few resources coming home. Somebody said we have developed corruption, but I can tell you what has happened now. The people who are in the villages today, they should now be able to know who is their governor. They said, you are all in Nairobi, everything was in Nairobi now, let us have it home. It's a good start. The only problem is like a surprise to these people at the MCA levels, the county assemblies. It's a surprise to them because it's like giving a baby a lot of very nice food. It's not very good.
Did we move too fast?
That we have moved too fast. We need to make systems. Now, today governor comes 2 terms. Chances are the new governor comes for 1 term, after the other time with the new things, new people, new everything. So where do you begin from where you left? How is it possible to begin from where you left? Because most likely the current governor will be an enemy of the future governor. So they can't even have a transition in between. That's a gap.
I will not leave this question out when you touch the current governor, the other one coming. I will not leave this question. I want you to tell me, does devolution create national unity?
It can
and a cohesion.
It should do that. That is the purpose, the fabric of it is supposed to do that. But unfortunately, it's not doing it.
Has it created national unity like in India?
It has
in
not.
Australia,
It has not.
in Israel,
It has not.
in Germany. Boss, you are on. They are watching
German.
you.
And I like German.
Tell the world. Has it created national unity?
It has.
Or has it disintegrated the state further into sub-locations, paramount chieftaincy? Is that the word?
Yes, chieftain.
Yes, paramount chieftaincy. The governor of Kiambu is white too. The governor of Turkana is Nanok. The governor of Kakamega is Oparanya. Our son.
Our own.
Have we created our own son syndrome?
We have not created cohesion by devolution. If it were, then governors would have been CEOs. We would want to see a Kinyanjui being a governor for Kakamega.
Yes. Is there a time you will see? I want to give you time to answer that. Then it bring you another question.
We need to see a time when a Mohammed can be a governor for Kakamega. Oparanya can be a governor for Kiambu. Governors were supposed to be CEOs. That was my thought. If they are CEOs, they are now not political. But now today we have governors who are also having affiliation with the political parties. So it is very difficult to separate between political party and the work you are doing. Basically, you are an advanced politician. You are not, you know, management of our counties are a very huge task. I was looking at what the counties are being given every year. The counties are being given billions. One county can get as much as 13 billion, 5 billion, 7 billion, based on the CRA, the Commission of Revenue Allocation. Now, how do we then separate what they are doing as governors, in their position as governors because they are elected, and what they are supposed to do to the people? Because there is the allegiance to the political party, there is the allegiance to the people, which are supposed to do, and of course the national government. And to see what is happening, my only worry is the county governments have refused deliberately to create resource mobilization and capacity building units within their CECs and their commissions. There should be a very dedicated unit for capacity building. Without capacity building, Dr. Matsanga, we can't achieve anything, however much you have. Even if we are to be given a forgiveness for all our China debts, we'll go back to the debts. I can assure you.
Okay. There is a very serious matter as far as devolution is concerned.
Yes.
Resources. Equitable distribution of national resources. Elsewhere in Africa, in places like Nigeria, we have seen conflicts coming as a result of equitable distribution of resources. And these have created conflicts within the systems of these countries. Do you envisage conflicts coming in Kenya as a result of distribution of resources equitably and the lack of distribution of resources equitably?
I see that. I see that coming. I'll give you a good example of Ethiopia. I've been in Ethiopia, and my good friends in Ethiopia, I'm sure they are watching us.
Yes, they are.
That is Taye Mulugeta and
we tagged them. We tagged the whole African Union to see you here. Yes.
I want to tell you, when I sit down with my good friends Ethiopians, for example, when I sit with my good friend Taye, one thing that happens and comes in my mind is this. I always ask myself, Ethiopia was not colonized. The Italians attempted, but they were taken back. So Ethiopians remained indigenous. They are in the original form. They know the nationalhood. They know the fabric of togetherness. They love each other. You've not had Al-Shabaab hitting Ethiopia as frequent as it has done in Kenya. Yet they are also having soldiers in Somalia. What is this is a weak point. What you've said about conflicts, look at the oil that is coming up in Turkana. You saw the heated debate between the governor and the president at one point that they reconciled.
Yes.
That was just at the exploration stage.
Yes.
We have not started harnessing anything from the oil.
Do we say that devolution, if in this current format, could cause political warlords?
Yes. it will cause that very stress.
Seriously, say it as a Kenyan.
We are going.
Are we heading there?
We are heading
where
there.
We shall have political warlords determining the destiny of national government, how it should conduct itself. Because one of the problems that I see in the Kenyan constitution is the question of governance coming from ethnically based units.
Yes.
And if the governor of Turkana could have been Mohammed or Duba,
yes,
of the one who is Mandela, yes, is the governor of
Nairobi,
Turkana,
for example,
or Nairobi. Nairobi has a governor not from their place because it's a cosmopolitan area.
Yes.
The only county that can survive in terms of national unity is Nairobi.
Yes.
And Mombasa.
Yes.
No, not even Mombasa. Mombasa has got a governor who comes from their own place.
Yeah.
Kisumu has a governor who comes from their own place. Nakuru has got a governor who comes. These are examples of a time bomb as far as national unity is concerned.
Yes, and Dr. Matsanga, do you think it is safe for me to comment, and this is subject to approval by anybody else, but this is my opinion. And
yes. Go ahead.
Do you think these county governments are extended villages?
They are.
Just their village men just sitting there?
It is paramount chieftaincy, I have told you. You are talking of extended villages.
Yes.
It's paramount chieftaincy. Paramount chiefs
in suit
that used to control us those days. That I am the chief here. You can't speak without me. So what we have done in Kenya, we have transformed village paramount chiefs into regional blocks who have become real chiefs, who control resources of billions and billions of shillings. And mark you, Somalia went into a crisis it is in today because Siad Barre was told that, Your Excellency Siad Barre, Somalia is too big for you to govern. Somalia needs one serious thing today. Develop it.
Yes.
This is 1989, 1990, Somalia developed. The generals from one part saw Siad Barre as an enemy because they had seen the fruits of devolution. Some parts were moving faster than the other parts. There was a problem. Somalia ends where it is today because of devolution. So we have seen
if
elsewhere.
We don't build capacity for the units, for the units, we are sitting on a time bomb.
Exactly. Go ahead.
There'll be a time when MCS will be impeaching governors day in, day out, and the counties not be governable. We have to look at our way of regulating all this. But
MCS are also looking for special powers.
They want some powers.
Yes.
They want to say, look, governor, if you bring this bill, we'll put it down. Whether it's good for the people or not, we don't care. So they have to meet in the boardroom again for the governor to
for
appease.
This boardroom nation.
Yes, for the boardroom nation to appease them.
Because you have brought something very interesting, a boardroom nation where corruption begins from.
Yes.
Yes, let's see.
And that is the position.
Yes, let's see. There are so many people on your case. Doctor, continue this good job. Sometimes somebody somewhere will hear your undiluted, unapologetic, and uncompromising truth. Africa needs liberation from self-inflicted slavery, hunger, poverty, from self-styled and selfish leaders.
Agree.
That one, Mr. Good luck. Esinmoke, you can read it for yourself. People have sent messages. Maina Wanjoki is watching you. Beatrice Njeri is watching you. Ganga Gwot is watching you. There are about 30 to 50 per second people watching you, and they come down, they go up online per second. So let's come up with wastage of public resources, corruption, abuse of office. What is this? To you, an ordinary Kenyan, an educated holder of PhD, seeing so many countries, sitting in Singapore, eating rolling on a restaurant that takes you to Nakuru and brings you back. You know that restaurant that rotates. You are in Nairobi, then you are in Nakuru.
All of a sudden.
Then you return back with looking. Yes, you looking at all this.
When you talk about resources.
Yes, what do we do?
People don't like us to compare Singapore with Kenya, but we must, because at some point we're on the same level with Singapore. Today, corruption in Singapore is punishable by death.
Yes. Do you think President Kenyatta and the people of Kenya should introduce a death penalty for corruption?
Yes.
Be candid.
The president has nothing to lose by fighting.
Do you think if litigation in this country will wipe up corruption?
It will not. It will not wipe.
Do you think this court, answer questions quickly, this court here, Dr. Nelson, will ever sentence anybody?
No, it will not.
Don't you think you have been in Singapore and you have seen how a waiter can bring you back your $10 that you left in the pocket in your room?
Look at Japan. Japan, you will
tell Kenyans.
You forget your phone, a waiter will bring the phone to you.
Why go to Japan? Ethiopia.
Look at Ethiopia.
You cannot steal a mobile phone in Ethiopia. It's useless. Unless you are Al-Shabaab.
They love themselves.
Yes, unless you are Al-Shabaab going to use it, where will you use it? Because as soon as you put that SIM card in that phone, police will come for you.
Yes.
You are using a phone stolen. It has been reported by Dr. Nelson of African Union. Can we go to the police station? When can we have systems in these East African countries working? When?
I think in Kenya, the buck stops with the president. I think he has to act more.
This is the message we hear every day.
No.
Buck stops with the president.
That's fine.
Brother, relax.
What can we do?
This is not no more television. We are home. No. We want to deliver a message.
What do we do?
The president should, what can Uhuru Kenyatta do now? His Excellency is watching. They are all watching. His handlers are watching.
Yes.
We want to, you have to face these cameras. Tell the handlers what can be done. Tell the world, litigation alone in Kenya will never wipe out corruption.
My advice to His Excellency is very simple. Number one, he has nothing to lose by fighting corruption. Let him fight. Let him close his eyes and walk through that stage. It will be one of.
This is the period of Lent.
Yes.
When is he going to close his eyes?
We
are about, yes, this is the time of Lent.
Yes.
The president should now close his eyes and bring the water, wash it. 2 weeks ago, wait, I'm bringing you the story, my brother. We shall be very great leaders if we do this topic. Frankly, 2 weeks ago, the president went to the parliament and said, I don't want vigilante politics. I want facts.
Yes.
Facts, evidence. I want to ask you as a Kenyan, independently, tell the rest of the world, even if you take facts to this court of Kenya, will you win a case?
You will not win a case because the person next to you protecting you, the moment you are arrested, there will be somebody around to help you. I'll give you an example of Saudi Arabia. You know what has happened in Saudi Arabia? And I want the president to borrow a leaf from the young man from Saudi Arabia, what he's doing. He simply called all these rich people and politicians and billionaires for a dinner. Put them in a very serious hotel. Tell them this, I'm now in power. I want to welcome you guys, your business community. He knows very well they have stolen, they have corrupt ideas, everything. Then he tells them, all of you are under arrest. Nobody's living here until you return 20% of what you stole. We are saying we are forgiving you, but we are saying whatever you have stolen, at least return 20%. Let us begin from there. It has taken time for them, some of them to come out.
They are in Saudi Arabia, they are still in the hotel, house arrest.
Yes.
And they were told,
some have left.
Tell your relatives.
Is the account number sent?
Yes, tell your relatives. I think the president, these people handling this question of corruption should listen to what he is talking about.
There has to be practical
example.
ways of doing.
You are talking of
Because if we go to court, Dr. Matsanga, you go to court, they'll give you, because you are corrupt, they give you, you are allowed to have bail. You have cash bail. You have 2 weeks before they mention. Before you know it, the magistrate has been transferred. Before you know it, I have a friend of mine who's having a case in court for the last 6 years of land case.
6 years.
And do you know this land case? Every time he goes, there's a ruling. They say no, they have postponed the ruling until further notice. Next time the magistrate has traveled, he's not around.
Sir, are you trying to remind me of something which has happened to me?
Tell me
because I had a case
what has happened to you?
of work envelope, which ended up, I lost 6 million.
My goodness, sorry.
6 million, or traveling to Hague, traveling to where, until Justice Lenola told me lies. He took me around. That judge there in the Supreme Court, Lenola, lies. Every day I go to court, lies. Then finally they told me I'm a Ugandan. Then they said, you and Awaki will be removed, but your case remains. How can you remove the man who brought the motion remain?
The first amicus curiae at the ICC.
Oh my God.
The first African.
So, I don't talk about the court. There will be no solution in the court. It is impossible. You are talking of Saudi Arabia. Can I tell you, Zimbabwe? President Mugabe called him a bad name. He called all the ministers. This is 2003. He called all the ministers together and put them together and said, enough is enough. For a cabinet meeting, they never left.
Yes. And Mugabe.
Each minister left through a different police station, scattered all over Harare. So the bodyguards of the ministers and the drivers in Zimbabwe House, Mugabe's state house, they stayed there the whole night waiting for their bosses. They were not allowed to go inside, but their bosses were taken through other doors with police Land Rovers and the jeeps to be dumped. In particular, if you don't tell all your accounts where they are and how much you are going to bring, you don't come this way.
And that's why sometimes
So Mugabe retrieved money, back money, from this whole cabinet. One minister of finance, he's called Mr. Krunero. If you look at him today, Krunero is counting trees. Counting 1, 2, 3, 4 poles of electricity in Johannesburg. This is what the president here should do. Poles of trees, count 1, 2, 3. A minister of finance, he refused to declare 2 accounts. One in Canada and one in Johannesburg. The rest of the ministers, including Emerson Mnangagwa, some of them had nothing to hide. The current president was also under arrest. Nobody left. Until they told the president the numbers, your PIN number, your everything, the money that is, don't tell us about your salary, where your salary goes. Tell us the accounts you have. The man recouped millions and millions of dollars.
What prevents Uhuru from doing this?
And then went and confiscated these houses. They sold them. The anti-corruption unit went to South Africa to sell them. Mr. Kruneo failed to declare 2 accounts, was sent to prison. The worst prison on the African continent is called Chikurubi.
Chikurubi prison.
Where if you go there and you come back alive, then you must be 2 men with 2 lives. So if you look at the Minister Kruneo today, of a former Minister of Finance, is counting polls in Johannesburg and Harare, 1 poll, 2, 3, 4, 5, is this where I'm supposed to go? That is the treatment to show seriousness when you are fighting corruption. If we don't do that, if corruption is not fought outside the legal litigation, there is nothing that is going to come out of here.
Kenya, is a boardroom
until
nation.
we do
it
that.
It comes back to a boardroom nation, Dr. Matsanga.
Boardroom nation, indeed.
We are working with the process, you know. They say we have the due process to follow, which is right. That's the law. The problem is this process has so many, there are gaps that you...
How do you work with a process when the defense lawyer, who is supposed to be a court officer, becomes a financial conflict observer? He's the one collecting money on behalf of judges.
Difficult.
This is the people's court boss.
Hard time.
To go to Saxon in Karen. You know where it is?
Yes.
Who owns Saxon? Who owns Saxon? Sit there and see the lawyers coming to pick money and in the boots. Judges, magistrates coming to pick money. What do you think can happen if governors are there? There are also governors coming there. Your devolution governor with their entourage, they are there.
And we hope to fight corruption.
And you are fighting corruption.
I think we are just joking generally.
No, it's not joking. You live in Ethiopia. Can you corrupt an Ethiopian?
No, Ethiopia, you don't...
There's a friend of mine...
You don't even mention corruption.
A friend of yours you introduced me to.
Yes.
When he came, he's a very rich man, a multimillionaire.
Yes.
One of the richest men in Ethiopia.
Yes.
But if you looked at him...
You'll ignore him.
You'll ignore him. But look at our men here who are so-called rich. They arrive with pomp.
Millions and...
No, they arrive with pomp, pistol here, bodyguards too. Even you who is eating food in your hotel, you want to run away. Because you don't know what is going to happen to you. So this is the Africa, the both. You have taught me one thing today. Boardroom country. And I'm going to use it forever. A boardroom country. We go to China to borrow money. Another thing I want...
Somebody suggesting something very serious here.
Yes.
He's saying...
You read it.
That is from Kang Guot. He says it should be a law too that any serving minister should not have a bank account out of the country.
Exactly. Those are the measures that the president's people should take seriously. Any minister serving government should not have an extra account outside Kenya.
Do you know America what they have done? To be a president, your salary is not... They provide for you everything. So what you do is after your term, now they tell you, okay, during the time when you are the president, your money, we built this, we did this, we did this, we did this. You don't get money every day. They give you money for subsistence only. That's the head of state.
Because everything is there. Air Force One is available.
So what do you need? What else do you need?
But here, there are people talking about, oh, my allowance. No, oh, my salary. That's why we have created a state where you find governors. When they enter a certain town like Embu shakes like earthquake.
Yes, the governors arrived.
Yes. Have you noticed that?
I've seen that.
Let's come back to that subject.
I've seen that.
Of devolution.
Devolution.
You are a capacity builder, a resource manager, expert on fundraising. How are you going to help the people of Kenya and the governors to fundraise more resources apart from the government channel of looking at the little money coming?
Dr. Matsango, we must agree and tell this to people that it is not possible to have CIDPs, the County Integrated Development Plans, everywhere, and they are never put in place. There are no measures for assessment. There are no measures to check whether it is working or not. There is no monitoring and evaluation. There are no results. We can't measure. I look at the CIDP for a number of counties. I can tell you what they developed in the first year. When the new governor comes, there's a new CIDP. They'll say, no, this was not priority, this was priority. I think it's a high time Kenya, as a government of Kenya, generally from the national government to the county government, they must now develop a document called the Resource Mobilization Strategy for a nation.
Resource Mobilization Strategy.
Because we can't keep borrowing.
Those writing, students watching our TV,
we can't keep borrowing.
Dr. Nelson Sherese says Resource Mobilization Strategy.
We must have that document for the government, for consumption of everybody.
Are you ready to write it?
Yes, why not?
When?
When
can we begin? Because we need action. The president, the people, everybody, the government is watching you here.
I know.
Yes.
You know the government is watching.
You know, this is one of the digital platforms where everybody wants to see whether there's a miracle that has erupted here. So you tell us when are you writing this?
If we do not have a resource mobilization strategy as a nation, we'll keep borrowing until we die. Unfortunately, we won't make it to heaven. We will not make it. I don't think so.
Which party shall we go to?
No, I think we have designated places somewhere else, not heaven. Because
I'm told
this kind of corruption.
I'm told we have three areas of entry.
Yes.
The waiting room and hell and then heaven.
Yes.
So
we may be
many of us might be at waiting room.
Yes. And majority will be straight hell.
Oh my God.
Dr. Matsanga, would you think that somebody who would want to see a child dying in a hospital and
somebody talked, okay, Mr. Bora talked about hospital here. He said there are hospitals, there is no food, there is no medicine in the hospitals, and the people, governors are holding a meeting. Mr. Bora, Bismarck Bura, unbelievable. Really, Kenyan hospitals have become hovio. Fight corruption from its roots. The governors are holding this meeting
Dr. Matsanga, let me
in Kisumu. Yes.
Before we go there, let me surprise you what's happening in Kenya.
Yes.
Everybody's fighting corruption.
No, don't surprise me. Fight. Surprise Kenyans,
I'm
maybe.
telling you.
Because me, I fight it every day. Including me.
Let me tell you the problem. Listen to what I'm saying. The MCA says we will not tolerate corruption. We are fighting corruption.
Yes.
The senator says we are fighting corruption.
The president.
The minister said the same thing. The president said the same thing.
The deputy
said the same thing.
These days, don't say without saying the deputy.
Okay.
Because people might not like the show.
Okay.
You have to say the deputy also says he's fighting the same thing. Yeah.
Now, who is corrupt? Because all the leaders are fighting corruption. So who is corrupt?
A man above.
Who is
above? Viewers, let's take one break. A man above is corrupt. There is a man above everywhere.
Yes.
If you go to the managing directors of this company, a man above.
Yes.
If you arrest them, you take them to Muthaiga police station. They say above. We got orders above. From above.
Maybe
orders from above. Where is the... Thank you very much, Dr. Nelson Sherese, the fundraising expert and a capacity building expert for African Union. He's here. He tries to do quite a lot. Let's come back to the second part. Don't go away. The second part is very interesting. It's an African session. That was said before I give him a chance to summarize on his a man above. He has told us about the boardroom country. We borrow money from China that has no elections. And then we come and eat it where we have elections.
Dr. Matsanga is okay to borrow, but if you are borrowing to buy your own...
I am saying we borrow money from China that does not hold elections.
Yes.
But we Africans, with the boardroom country, we are preparing for elections 5 years to come.
By the way, just for the Kenyans to know, and also all people who are viewing all over the world, I want to assure you
has it also shocked you?
It has shocked me. You know what? Majority of Kenyans are Christians. 80% are Christians. In principle, they are determined to go straight to heaven.
Francis Bama said before we go to break,
yes,
please explain further how the Resource Mobilization Commission works. There you are. I told you.
Resource Mobilization Commission, no. It is Resource Mobilization Strategy.
Strategy.
Not Commission.
No, but all the same, it is only one word that it changes.
This is how it works.
Okay, explain it to the people of Kenya.
This is how it works. When you have a Resource Mobilization Strategy, you know exactly what you will need by what time and where you will get it. You don't get surprises. Today, we are a reactive government. Something happens, that's when somebody brings something. If today there is a building collapsing, the county government is going to stop all constructions going on. If something happens, if there's fire in a school, all the schools are now suspended. The point is, we don't be reacting. We should just focus on plan. Can we be able to plan and anticipate all this? Can we plan this, Dr. Matsanga?
Does Africa plan? Does Africa plan?
What is in Africa?
I'm asking, does Africa, do we plan?
We don't plan.
So we borrow money from China, and China is threatening to take our ports and industries, and we are planned, have we?
We have not planned. No plan. And I was saying something before you disrupted me. I was telling you...
I have not disrupted. I've given you a chance.
80% of Kenyans are Christians, yet we are very corrupt. In China, they don't believe in anything. They are just human beings who are busy working, and we are borrowing money from them.
There is no religion in China.
No, I mean, some countries...
So we borrow money from pagans.
Today, Netherlands...
No, wait. Yes, this is very serious.
We borrow money from pagans, correct? Who are supposed to go to hell.
Then we come and misuse it here.
We clean it, we pray for it.
Oh.
May the Lord bless this.
Let's bless it. let's take a break. I can see you, Max Rutito from Zimbabwe. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. Tell us where you are calling from so that doctor knows that this is an international television, not local television around Kenya. This is an international system. King Court, tell us where you are watching from. All of you, thank you very much. Keep glued down. Bring it on. Next session is Africa. We want to jump from devolution to
Africa.
Not to revolution. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Nelson Sherezi.
Thank you.
To be here today to participate with my brothers and sisters in this very important forum when we are reflecting and thinking about our country. When we are thinking about our country, we are thinking about ourselves, our people at home, and the generations to come. Mine is to assure you that we are doing our best as far as investigations are concerned. But at the same time, we do have quite a number of challenges, though they have not reached a point of dispiriting us, or rather demotivating us. We are trying to say that I wish everybody in this war of corruption may come on board. One thing I can say is, even before we go for some investigations outside there, some of the frustrations which really pull us down is some of the strange orders that we receive. Other than even starting the investigation, we are stopped even before we record a statement from somebody who you know very well are stolen from Kenyans. You know very well, and all Kenyans know, we are pursuing this person, and it's not something we're imagining. We all know, and we cannot lie to ourselves, surely, and everything can show, but we are stopped even before questioning that person. And when we receive some of those orders, like another one which I received just the other day, I was not even at the stage of even pursuing that person whatsoever. Then when the orders came, I read them very well. Do not use the door to go and arrest Mr. Hay. Then I said, okay, why is this preemptive? Then I said, fine, I consulted my regular advisors, they are here. And then I said, no, through my information, there is a window. If I cannot use the door to go and take Mr. Hay, then I'm going to use the window. And once I get through the window, I get a smoking gun, which is killing us. Just smoking, just immediately from murdering us Kenyans. When you steal from us, the hospital money, loans money, development fund for all this country, what do you think you are? You are not better than that terrorist you are battering there in the Dusit and other areas. Then, immediately, faithfully carrying our smoking gun, then what happened? We are told, don't even bring this smoking gun here. Don't even touch that person. We are bad. Please listen to me. I have it here. Why don't you give me 10 minutes even to demonstrate I'm not malicious? Surely this is what I have. Then if I am, prove me within these 10 minutes. Nobody is ready to listen to us. What I can say is, thank you for prayers and support from Kenyans. I know very well that issue of mafia in Italy. It was completed almost replica. the capture of the mafia. The way the war was won and the people's cry, they were wiped and dry their tears. It was through the corrective working and bravery of their police, prosecution, and judiciary. When most of them, they are homicide, and then the police said, no, enough is enough. Our people have cried enough. Let's go to fight for our people. In as much some of them were still with the mafia. It was massacre. They said it's okay, let's die, but for the world cause of our people. The prosecution came on board and said, no, equally we hear the cry of our people. Let's join the war. They joined the police, the prosecutors. Then the judiciary came and said, no, then we shall not be left. They came on board. The war was won for their people, ultimately. We can say, equally in Kenya, we can take the cry of our Kenyans and say, this greed, these millions we are stealing every day, start them in bank, there are papers, we shall read them in this world. Let us say, what is enough for us is what God has given us. And the moment we say collectively, we are going to fight this war together, I can for sure tell you, this country is beautiful, it has plenty for each and every one of us. And I can for sure we shall have peace of mind. And even during our last days when they do come, even that billionaire and all that, you will be smiling, knowing if there is heaven, me I'm a Christian, I believe there is one. At least then have a space after the one hereafter. So that one is to say, continue supporting us, praying for us. We shall do our level best, and we shall give all that we have for the sake of our motherland. Thank you.
Thank you very much, viewers. Welcome back to our show, The People's Court. The People's Court this afternoon was looking at devolution as the centerpiece of has it worked or has it not worked in Kenya. We have an expert by the name Dr. Nelson Sechere. This time I've got it right. Dr. Nelson Sechere has told us so many things this afternoon. One of the things that Dr. Sechere said is a boardroom nation. Conferences that are being held in Kisumu is more or less a boardroom. This conference should have been held in Kirinyaga, where the governors and everybody, the president was there. So we do it once in a year, but holding several conferences, wasting over 200 million in the preparation of such a conference, is wastage of resources. That is not what they want. That is not what it is. It means what Mr. Bama wants. Mr. Bama wants to know what it means by a strategy. A strategy which we have explained, and a policy that will bring about mobilization, resource mobilization strategy. What can the governors do? And you have ably demonstrated there is a lot the governors can do to find other means of resources. We need to help the president, we need to help the governors, we need to help the counties, they need to listen. One of the problems is that Africa doesn't listen.
We speak a lot.
We speak a lot. You've taught me also another word, that there is money borrowed from pagans, and we pray for it in Africa.
Yes, we take from China, we anoint it.
China has no religion.
Yeah,
there are no churches in China.
Netherlands, they close churches. They say, please, just work hard and try to focus on things. The best church is your neighbor.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not sure if he's aware, because
he's aware.
He's aware?
Yes, this is the period of Lent.
Oh yeah. He's about to
That's
die.
why you are trying to...
We will kill him soon?
Traitors. Traitor.
Dr. Matsaga.
I'm not a traitor. Yes, go ahead.
I want to tell you something.
So go on.
I want to tell my viewers who are viewing, it is not possible for us to make steps if we keep on making the same mistakes over and over again. We have to deliberately make a decision to change how we reason and how we look at things. Different from what we do, we must decide deliberately we are going to change what we are doing. That will make a very big difference for us. It is not possible to see a Kenya that is having resources. People come from outside the country. They come, they love this, like the weather, very nice weather. Look at the way the town, you've been to a country like Singapore, it's nice, but it's very hot.
Yes.
You go to Dubai, a nice place, but it's dry, it's a desert. You know.
No, I don't go to Dubai. Count me out.
Okay, you don't go there.
Because Dubai has become Mombasa or Nairobi. I hate meeting the same people I meet here.
In Dubai?
Yes, I hate meeting Ugandans. Let me tell you frankly, if any person this is a people's court.
Yes.
Don't relax about it. Yeah, any person tells me is giving me, if I were a woman, and you tell me you are giving me a holiday in Dubai, I will not go.
Where would you?
It's useless.
Go? Uganda?
No, I would rather go to my country. Yes, Makshon Falls.
Yes.
Than Dubai, because Dubai has become a cheap place for everybody. In fact, never come here and tell me you are in Dubai. I rather not even host you on this show. You just say you pass by on transit.
What I'm saying is,
go the streets.
We are a rich nation.
Yes, we have taken our bad manners.
The other side.
Yes, Ugandans were banned from Dubai. We used to go without visa.
Now you have to go with visa.
We have to go and queue for a visa. We have bad manners. What Dubai are you telling me? Where you find every Tom and Dick, Harry, Kenyan, Ugandan is in Dubai. It's a heaven of bad manners collected from the continent, taken to that place. You will soon see they will all be banned from going there. They have started stealing. They have started hijacking cars. Another Kenyan hijacked a car carrying money. You saw him arrested here.
Yeah, yes.
Ugandans do very dangerous thing, drink and then start driving. In Dubai, where you used to go without a visa,
now you go visa. You
have to get a visa. They carried Harrotism.
Harrotism.
Yes. Malaya. And they took it there. They have become more harrots. Street vendoring. So many things have taken place. You have spoiled Dubai. We Africans.
Can we make our own here?
I think the best you can make is coming. If we change our behavior, if we don't go to boardrooms and plot how to eat the money of our Eroa Dam, Kimreroa Dam, buy suka bed sheets.
Towels.
Swimming in a dry dam.
$23 million.
Are you not ashamed as a Kenyan?
Sometimes.
Swimming in a dry dam where there's no water, Dr. Sechere. A taxpayer you have been paying, and you hear the money disappeared with a dam without water.
But have we not seen people carrying money in the sacks?
Nelson, Francis Bima from United Kingdom says, thank you very much for such a program. Thank you for the correction and explanation of resource mobilization strategy.
Very important.
Excellent guest. Africa is all boardroom continent.
Yes.
Always in debt. Despite the wealth and resources Africa possesses, we are always in debt.
I think...
Discuss.
My thinking, Matsanga, my thinking is we have decided to enjoy borrowing. It must be a very good thing for us. Even pray, I wish they can give me more.
We are soon going to borrow again.
Yeah, of course we are going to borrow again.
A country that does not borrow cannot be an African country.
Yes, it has to be outside Africa.
Even Congo. Talk about Congo.
Congo, when I hear Congo, my heart is breaking, really. Because Congo is the mother of all the resources. Talk about gold, talk about diamond, talk about all these minerals are enshrined in Congo, DRC Congo. What's happening in Congo instead?
Have you ever traveled with Congolese?
Yes.
What do you find them doing? I'm asking a cardinal question. Have you ever traveled with Congolese on a plane?
No, not on a plane.
Have you ever met them on the ground, wherever you have landed?
Yes, I've met them.
What do you find them?
Most of the time, from where I sit, I think those I've interacted with, they are more in leisure than... they are more in leisure than...
You are being economical with the truth. If you travel with a Congolese, you'll see, the first thing you see him is a suit that was bought in Paris.
Yes, exactly.
Then the shoe that was bought in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
With unmatched coat and a trouser. In fact, they wear like the deputy president here. Unmatched things. That's the style of Congolese. But I'm not saying the deputy is Congolese. He might have, whoever has copied from the other, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Now, if you look at the Congolese anywhere, the first thing when they earn the salary, that's what the badness of Africa it is. They go to the shops to buy shoes and a good suit for the weekend.
From France?
Yes. So, no, whatever, whether Britain, it is, I am now telling you from a practical point. My Congolese friends, by the middle of the month, they don't have the money.
They are broke.
They are broke. Because they have bought suits and shoes. So why are you shocked that Congo has minerals?
They've been fighting, you know.
Yes, they have minerals, but they don't use them. Where do minerals
the
go?
Capacity. They don't have the capacity.
Okay.
Sitting on a golden mine is...
Back to our subject, opinion poll on political matters affecting Africa. People's courts. That's where we are now. Wait. Or you want to bring something?
I want to say something very important.
Say it.
It really pains me when I notice there's a Nigerian or a Kenyan or a Ugandan who makes attire. You see this suit made in Kenya, for example?
Yes.
Kenyans will not buy. They'll prefer buying outside. Let me tell you what happens now. This is a practical example. It has happened, and I've given this example before in my meetings somewhere else. They are given this. They are told, this is from Dubai. So the same Kenyan or Nigerian takes this from Abuja, goes to Dubai, I know you hate Dubai, goes to Dubai. Another Nigerian from Abuja goes to the same Dubai and buys the same clothes from his own country, but in a different country at a higher price. Then during a meeting like now, they'll be saying this is made from, I bought this in Dubai. It seems to excite us so much as Africans. That is our problem. Are
you shocked?
I'm actually not shocked because we seem to have...
You have researched on it,
yeah,
and you have seen where we ended.
Yeah.
That's where we are.
We don't value our positives.
A state where you don't think beyond the government.
Yes.
Where you don't say resource mobilization strategy must come from the governor. Where the governors are in for pomp, not for leadership.
You look at countries like Israel.
Yes.
A small country taking soil from Africa. They cultivate tomatoes. They export to Africa. What is wrong with us as Africans? An African, you have 1 acre of land, you are always complaining on the government door. Government. You have land, 1 acre. Arable land, which you can use to make yourself wealthy. You are blaming the government. Must we think about this again? I think we should be able to restructure our thought patterns.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nelson Sechere. I want to bring you to our last segment. The revolution taking place in Africa. From Algeria, now in Khartoum. Where do you think it will go next?
Kenya.
Where do you, let's be honest.
Kenya.
I don't think that it will go to Kenya. Let's look for another country. Kenya here, there are institutions that can safeguard. You don't have tendencies of dictatorship. You have allowed a free market, a free expression, a free engagement, a free judges make judgment. Where do you think in Africa it is going to land next? Your world You can only tell me by whispering if you don't want to say the country.
You know, I'm a Pan-African.
Yes.
I have to be very cautious on my comment.
Yes, and I am also a Pan-African, but I tell the truth.
No, by not saying that means I don't say the truth.
Yeah, you are not saying the truth now. If you are a Pan-African like in Nkrumah, you say the revolution is going to Asmara, Eritrea. Next. You say you saw the placards in Khartoum?
Yes.
The people in Khartoum were saying you...
Eritrean president.
Next.
Yes, he's Eritrean.
The flags came, Eritrean flags started. I am very sorry that this man of Eritrea is my friend from London. In 1990, 91, 89, 90, 91, Zenawi, Efaki, Matanga, Dr. Nambago, we worked together. They were working with Ethiopia Relief Organization. I was working with Uganda Community Relief Association. Dr. Nambago and myself, we are still alive, and Efaki. I am so disturbed about Efaki, his behavior against his own people. 3/4 of the people who die in the in Mediterranean Sea are from Eritrea. 3/4 of the people suffering in Greece, in Italy, are from Eritrea. What happened to Afaki, my friend? The one I knew in Islington, Highbury, in London, near this football club that fails every day, called, which one is this name?
As an old Manchester.
Yeah, where Raila and Ruto meet. Because that's the only club they have. They all support Arsenal. So this is where we used to go. Efaki used not to drink. I and Zenawi used to have a drink. And Wafula and Nambago and others. We are working.
So you are saying Eritrea. Eritrea is the next.
Next, line. Yes. You saw the people in Sudan.
Yes, they're demonstrating.
They are demonstrating and they are finished. They have now raised the flag on Asmara that you are next. Why, I want to ask, why in Africa? Why in Africa do we have to wait until you are not welcome by your own people?
But Dr. Matsanga, I think however good you are a dancer, however good you dance, however much you know how to dance, at one point you've got to come out of the stage. It becomes boring, however good you are. Good leaders will always mentor somebody to take over. You don't have to be forced to take over.
Shakespeare said, there comes a time when you come to the stage, play, and do what?
Live.
And live. Why do
Africans, we fear living.
Tell me.
We want to be around.
Now tell me, my brother.
We want to be around
you are an expert near African Union. Tell me.
We want to be around for long.
Yes, African Union has given the people in Khartoum 15 days to make a government.
But you and me understand very well that we have a hand of France on this, right?
You want to bring that here, you might not like it.
No, I don't want to bring it.
Because you have now thrown the stone in the bees.
Let me not throw.
Yes, I will come to bite you.
But I'm telling you.
It is true that you better know this. President Macron went to Jamena.
Yes.
While in Jamena left dollars, millions of dollars, that were carried, transported, airlifted into Khartoum, supplied to civil society. And I'm telling you this, African intelligence systems watch me, and I don't care. I want to tell you exactly, because I was waiting for this evidence. I got the evidence. Why didn't African Union make its own noise advise governments that you are about to collapse? Why do we wait
until
the army comes in?
Boardroom.
But it's beyond the boardroom, because we are captured. We are a captured organization. And when you said you are coming to my show, I wanted you to hear so that you can go and tell them. You have finished your show of devolution, but I wanted to catch you here so that you go and tell the chairperson that you have a problem with some people who love Africa like me. That chairperson is a captured person. People in Amazonia are dying. People in Biafra are dying. People in Nigeria are dying. People elsewhere in the world are dying. I want that man to tell me what role he plays by just coming to say, this is what, let it happen. The money that overthrew General Bashir came from Jamena. Macron met Debris, the president who is always caught with hand stealing and bribes. We have no president in Jamena. A man who was provided $2 million, isn't it? The guy who bribed him is in jail. Can you call that a president?
No.
The man who bribed the president, Debris, isn't he called Debris?
Yeah.
Debris, who? Idris Deby, isn't it?
Yes.
Is he not the president of Jamena, of Chad?
Yes.
This is the guy who was bribed $2 million by a man who has confessed, who has been locked up for over 20 years in a jail in the United States of America. We don't have president, we have traders, cheap traders. Even Marco Polo was better.
You compare Marco Polo?
Yes. And since you are associated with African Union, it is important you take this message that the people are not happy. This revolution sweeping Africa is coming because we don't give Africa what lessons to change the institutions.
Capacity building.
The capacity building, exactly.
That is the point.
We don't have capacity building in Africa. What does Africa do apart from collecting observers to go for elections? What does AU do?
Nothing.
Every time you find, oh, Mbeki is leading this, another one, what for? Don't they see the reforms needed in Uganda today? Does an African Union see that there are reforms needed that are going to bring havoc? Don't you see in Zimbabwe, Mr. Chamisa picking money from George Soros every day, forming quietly in Botswana, creating a capacity for regime change in Zimbabwe? Don't we see these things? Are we not seeing them? As Africans, don't we see them?
But we have to search ourselves.
As you said, we borrow money from pagans and come and clean it with Christianity.
We pray for it.
I think we have a problem.
Yeah.
Don't you see our boardroom politics has led us to where?
And boardroom is giving us the opportunity to look, to be mimicked, to be laughed at, to be, I mean, people are now making jokes, laughing stock for Africa.
Ashali Washali said the next country where revolution will take place is Uganda. Is here, I'm reading the comments. Francis Bana is from Cameroon. He says, thank you very much. He said, as an Amazonian from Cameroon, should be the next stop for that thing that is
wave.
That wave. Chisiza Uzebuku Mumeme. Africans must rise and defend themselves against the European Union, UK and France. We are still under colonial, accept, and we rise up to fight.
Yes, we are still under.
Are we under, you said it, are we under colonial
We are still there.
Is it a colonial hangover or real colonialism?
In fact, this is now real. We are being remobilized afresh. We are now being colonized afresh. Now the Chinese are leading.
You sound a bit bitter about Chinese. What is your problem?
No, my problem.
You tell us more. You have
my problem.
What is this capacity building?
My problem
resource capacity strategy on the Chinese.
My problem is when I see a Chinese in Kenya selling water, selling food. It pains me. Do you mean we don't have Kenyans who can do that? Africans who can do this? If I wanted to help you, why can't I build your capacity, transfer knowledge of what you are doing, then I leave you to do what you are doing. Today, if you look at a road being done by a Chinese and a road being done by a Kenyan, the Kenyan road is going to take longer than the Chinese. That's the position. There's a road nearby to where I stay. The road has taken forever because it's a Kenyan contract.
Does China hold elections?
No, they don't.
So, does China, wait, does China have MPs?
No. Do they go to church?
No, at the mixture, we are about to end this show, but we want to end on a nice. Does China hold elections?
They don't.
China does not hold elections.
Yeah.
China has no MPs.
Yes.
China lends us the money.
Yes.
What do we do with the money?
We eat. We pray. We eat.
No, we do. Say nicely.
We do. Okay.
We corruptly eat it.
Yeah. We utilize.
Dr. Sechere, with due respect, utilization of money is very economic word for the destruction of money.
No, you know,
it is money gone, it has not been utilized.
Okay, let me say this, we steal the money on industrial scale.
Yes.
Does that make it better? Because if you are stealing is okay, but you see we are stealing on industrial scales.
Are we a country and a continent of thieves?
Yes, we are a combination of thieves. We have just higher thieves and lower thieves, but we are all thieves.
Do we have a middle class in Africa?
Middle thieves or class?
Pseudo?
Thieves, maybe.
I think we have a pseudo class.
Yes.
Do you have a really middle class in Africa?
No, we don't. You are a billionaire, you don't have anybody you've employed. What are you telling me? You make your money from above? From heaven? Or manna fall from above? You are a billionaire, we can't
Let's come to South Sudan.
We can't see industry.
Please, you came here good. Come to South Sudan. The Pope kisses the feet of warlords. Tell me. Go ahead, you're a Catholic.
Please, I was to be a priest. I left that calling.
You told me before we came to the show.
I told you I was to be a priest.
And I've been knowing you.
I didn't make it.
Dr. Sechere told us.
I didn't make it, but I'm going.
You have read about the Vatican.
Yes.
And the Italian
system. The Pope kissing the feet of the warlords. In a normal sense, it is supposed to send a message, but there's no message being sent, unfortunately, because they will just move on after the kissing.
Will you think they will survive?
No, I think the kissing means. Do you think
is it not a curse?
It's not a blessing, at least.
It's a curse.
Your words are very strong for them.
No, I have to say the truth. You know why I'm saying it is a curse? Women in South Sudan have not showered for 3 years since the war started. Because as you are showering, bullets come and you carry your baby and go. Women are not eating. Children are not going to school. Children are not eating. Hunger is killing people in South Sudan.
No water.
No water. No food.
No
only
education.
Bullets.
Only bullets. Young boys carrying guns.
384,000 people dead.
Lives.
That's Africa. That is the Africa we are painfully watching. We had to take ourselves to the Vatican for Pope to kiss our feet in order for Africa to stand up and see the sense of an endless war between Riek and Salva Kiir. What's your comment?
My comment, South Sudan leaders, Riek Machar and Salva Kiir, they can just choose to swallow the pride and go home. Leave the country for the people. People can get somebody else to lead the country. They have tried this for long. Dr. Matsanga, peace is very, very
precious.
Very precious. If you don't believe that, try war. We will not be sitting here if there's war in Kenya. We can't be sitting here if there's war in Kenya.
You are bringing me to Kenya again?
I mean, we can't avoid it.
You are bringing me to Kenya?
Yes.
Let's stick to Sudan.
We will stick to South
Because
Sudan,
in Kenya we seem
we
to
have issues in Kenya.
we seem to be going there. Do you realize the 2007 you are here?
Yes.
Are the statements that are being made by our leaders?
Is a recipe for that war?
Yes. The statements made by groups going to Rift Valley, groups going to churches. The church mouse has become poorer and poorer, while the men and the bishops are laughing. That's the Africa we have. That's the Kenya we have today.
The bishops are.
Did you see the bishops on Sunday in one of the teams, either the team K or team T? We call them T and a K.
Yes.
One of the teams, bishops were laughing when these men were making very serious comments that can divide and kill this country.
And I wonder where the ethics commission is, because now this way we need to the cohesion, the commission for cohesion.
What cohesion?
I mean,
what can they do?
Somebody should be taking account of their words.
And do what? Mr. Oscar, the MP for Kapseret,
he apologized. But
he went to what you need is to wear your coat and go to the commission.
Yes, and
apologize.
After apologizing, when you come out,
then you come out and then you say Uhuru is very bad.
Yes,
that's what exactly he did. The following day, he again opened his mouth. His mouth, you see how it is. Because it explains the words, how they come out. You see, that's exactly that. We have a problem in Africa. And this problem in Africa can lead us to very big, especially in Kenya.
We have to agree and make a deliberate decision that we have to coexist. We don't choose where we are born.
No.
We don't choose.
Some people choose. South Africa chooses for where we should be born. Talk about it. Xenophobia in South Africa.
It's real.
You are a human. You travel everywhere. You are in Botswana, over there drinking your wine or your Trota or your Fanta or Coca-Cola, watching Africans being slaughtered across the border. You are in
very painful.
Yes,
Botswana.
painful.
I was in Gaborone.
Gaborone. You watched as Africans were.
And you asked me that question that I told you. South Africans have to realize that war is very expensive. That country has come from far. This xenophobia, looking at people in the lines of ethnicity, the skin color, is not the best option for us.
Have you ever been told that welcome to Africa?
Welcome to Africa.
Yes. Doctor, our time is flying hard, but have you ever been told that welcome to Africa?
Yes.
You tried to visit South Africa. And as you are eating food with a South African, he says, welcome to Africa. And then you said, but I came from Nairobi.
What are you telling me? Are you saying I was somewhere else? We were on the periphery of Africa.
Have you ever tried to get a visa to go to South Africa?
Yes.
How cumbersome?
Before I got my passport?
Yes. How cumbersome is it?
Very difficult.
Have you been told to recite the date of birth of your father? Is this the Africa that we want?
Let me shock you.
This is African People's Court. Brother, every time, please, when you are around.
I know you have looked,
every time,
you have looked for me so much.
When you are around on a date like this,
yes.
Let's make Africa happy.
Let me tell you.
Come here every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Let this be your show.
All right.
Have you ever, because you and I, we have widely traveled.
Yes.
There is nowhere on the planet I have traveled 126 countries.
You are doing well.
Since I was born.
I'm at 89.
Since I was born. So you look at the way you are. You are because you have had what we call international exposure.
The only problem I have, Dr. Matsanga, when I'm going to Morocco, I have to go to Frankfurt.
Now tell me.
If I go to Morocco, I have to go to Germany.
Is this the Africa you want? Back. You have to go to Germany to come back to Africa.
To Africa, yes.
Is Morocco part of Africa?
And some country just...
Is Morocco part of Africa? Don't jump there.
It's part of Africa.
Is Morocco part of African Union?
Yes, it's part of it.
No.
Morocco is being...
Me, I don't accept Morocco ever. When I'm counting African countries...
Is it why you can't fly there?
No, I can't go there even if they give me $1 million. I hate them.
Please.
That's the truth.
Please, hate is bad. Don't hate.
No, I have a heart.
Is it part of Africa?
Do you know why? Why don't you ask me?
Okay, why?
Sahawari. Sahawari. Give Sahara the republic. Give them a nation. Hate me. I'm not bothered.
You know what disturbs me?
I don't eat a dessert. I eat matoke. And our matoke in Uganda says we must liberate every part of Africa. That's why Uganda gave ANC, African National Congress, a base in East Africa. We did not fear both there to come and bomb us. Trust me, Sahawaris, they need independence. There is no way of telling me Morocco is not here. I don't know.
So you mean yourself?
If I draw the map of Africa, I exclude Morocco.
So what is there?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't.
Is anybody watching from Morocco?
I think it is Go Maria.
Matsanga.
Unfortunately, I am
very hot.
Unfortunately, I am AFC. You know why Go Maria lost in Morocco? Some of us have no good feelings against Morocco. We have no good feelings on Morocco. Sorry. We have no, I have personally, the way they have suppressed the people of Sahara, the Western Sahara, and refused them independence, occupied the territory, and the Saturday refused them entry in the AU. Forget about me. 53 countries on Africa. I don't know the 54th one.
You don't believe in Morocco being in Africa?
No,
on the map?
No. I draw it and remove it. You are joking with me. That's the map. I don't like it.
But your map is punchline.
It is for international dignity.
For PR?
Yes. But I'm telling you the truth. Morocco is not part of Africa. Morocco is a new extensionist policy of expansionism.
Regardless, Dr. Matsanga, regardless, they are human beings. My opinion is this. We don't have to fly from here to Germany.
You are the one who created it. You said you have to fly to go to Morocco. It is easier to pass through the kingdom of God than going to Morocco. Because there is
very difficult.
Yes, there is no flight that goes direct to Morocco. Why? Why did God make it difficult for us not to fly direct to Morocco?
Is it God?
I don't know. Because we even borrow money from pagans and bring it to
church. We pray for it. We anoint it.
Yes, we anoint it.
Yes.
Are we going too much?
Well, Dr. Matsanga, today, if you steal 1 million, go to the church tomorrow.
Please don't bring those things of stealing here. Because
I'm telling you,
Dr. Matsanga wouldn't like to hear.
Don't even thinking.
No. I'd rather come and tell you I don't have money, give me Nelson. But don't allow me to go and steal.
I'm just telling you that this is what we are seeing in our churches. It's very sad news here.
Do we have churches in Kenya?
We have some houses where people are sitting and
I only go to Anglican Church of Archbishop Olesepiti.
Olesepiti.
Yes, and if I hear him receiving money from these people, I will also not go there.
You think
I'm watching, yes. If he blesses that money.
You will not go there again?
No, I will announce it officially so that God can hear.
And forgive you?
Yes. Because you don't need to bless. Have you not seen we have changed our churches into
business, commercial entities?
What about the congregation that comes that has not eaten overnight?
They said the Lord will...
Why have we turned our churches into pulpits? Political pulpiting. Political pulpiting. Have you seen that?
I've seen that.
You're a doctor of philosophy.
I've seen that.
Political pulpiting. People wear suits to go to church to preach. They have stolen. They go to church to denounce a president whom they chose. They can't wait for him to go away from the seat. They want him to die quickly, move very fast because of power, hungry. Part of my problems that I have disagreed in my own country called Uganda is anybody who says, when I take power, I will remove Museveni's completely. We shall remove them. How do you remove Museveni? When Museveni 30 years ago, the child who was born in 1986 is how old today?
86, 33 now? He has never seen any other president.
Yeah. So you
One
go
president.
wait. Go and remove him and you see.
Difficult.
Until the child himself says, Father, you have milked me too much. Besije cannot, Matanga cannot. Then the children themselves start asking where the milk is coming from.
Africans have to empower themselves. We have to accept to empower ourselves.
Ashali Washali, I think is your relative.
I don't know him.
I am of the opinion that if Africans acquire the courage of Arabs, then it will be easier for us to tame dictators. This guy is determined.
I'm impressed with that.
Yes. Do we have the courage?
No, we don't.
If you wanted to have a demonstration in Nairobi, how many people will be following you by the time you from Kibera up to the city square? If you look back, will they be there? Will they be there?
Dr. Matsanga, do you have the courage?
No.
In the morning you are shouting, saying, you know, people with guns, can they even shoot?
You are the one talking about the people with the guns, so when they don't even know how to use them.
They don't know how to use them.
Yes.
And they are guarding people.
Yes.
They have guns everywhere.
Another expert was telling us this morning on TV that, oh my God, the group that is guarding our MPs are not trained to guard. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Mr. Makanga, is it Makanga? Expert, security man, has just come from Mogadishu.
We are not armed, we are not able to, you know, you need armory of just not the physical equipment, but the brains.
Conflict.
You've got intelligence.
Conflict in Somalia. Which way?
So Somalia...
They are now turning tactics to abduction. Which way?
And so that's a very big impact for Kenya.
Yeah.
We can't avoid that.
So which way?
The only way?
Why is there a sleeper cell inside Mandela that monitored the whereabouts of these doctors? Because talking about it, endangering them. We wish them, they should be released. They came to help humanity. They didn't come to trade. They are not annexing territory. We plead with these guys to release them. But let's
regardless of that, Dr.
At the sleeper cell.
The sleeper cells, I mean, you are a soldier. You know what this means.
Yes.
They don't survive unless they have intelligence.
Exactly.
They work with the intelligence.
Yeah, exactly.
That means there is information infiltration between the civilians or the other side? Because why would they be only doing this frequently? They know the moves.
Is it also capacity building?
I think capacity building.
Resource capacity strategy.
We need a strategy for that as well.
Yeah, because the governor knew the effects of these drivers, these doctors coming from very far. This is a war zone.
Yes, and it's clear. It's not
why didn't they build?
It's not a surprise.
Why didn't they build in the hospital itself, where they can even in one of the wards,
just to have accommodation.
Accommodation, so that when there is an attack, you have attacked the whole world. The soldiers will be aware. Why did we allow these people to come? All two of them to come away 5 miles away from? Surely this is not. This is not Africa. This is not the best way. We should have done that.
Do you think there could be a better way to handle this?
A better way is to allow these doctors to sleep in the compounds.
But does the county government have the capacity for that?
It has. Governor Roba has the capacity to order for a house to be built in a week. No, capacity is not about the money. Yes. The ability. That's why you are needed. That's why you are needed. Resourceful capacity build strategy.
Yes, we have to build the capacity for counties. I'll say this again. If we don't build the capacities, MCS will keep on fighting the governors. The governors will be busy protecting themselves and shall be having war between the systems within the county government.
As we bring this show to an end, it's 5 p.m. We have talked for 2 hours.
2 hours?
Yes. Is there anything good that you can say about Africa?
I will say one thing that is very good about Africa. Africa is rising. We are rising against dictators.
In the summary of your points,
yes,
of devolution in Kenya.
Yes.
Please.
We are summarizing this program, and I would want to say devolution can work, but not when we are doing 3 steps forward and 4 steps backward.
So there must be constant steps forward.
We must have, however small
they are,
however small the steps they are, we must be making the steps forward. If we don't do this, then we will come back to haunt ourselves. And that's why you say devolution can become a tragedy for us if we are not able to build the capacity. And Dr. Matsanga should be speaking about this every now and then. And the counties have
you are welcome over
the counties have to look for ways of getting their own money. Even the NGOs all over Kenya, they should now stop looking at the government. The government is also looking for money.
We shall advertise you on such a huge program that has taken us about 7,000 to 8,000 viewers.
8,000, 8 million?
No, about that. No, the other millions can watch. They are watching, but the people online, about 3,000 to 4,000 now. They have watched you. It will count back everything for you. It has no regrets for counting back. It's very good.
We have to build the capacity for counties.
Yes.
All over Africa, we must accept to make our systems work. Our problem is not lack of money, Dr. Matsanga.
Huduma number.
Huduma number. Thank you for bringing that up. Huduma number?
Yes. Go ahead.
The way to go may not be what the people are expecting. However good the thing is, how you package it. Do you know there's a time I've bought knives, 12 knives. 12.
Were you going to slaughter goats?
No. The marketing, the way the lady spoke about it, it made me feel like this might be a very unique thing. So Huduma number could be a good thing for government, for governance, but I think it is important for them to package it the right way. Don't say, if we do this now, how safe? They must assure us that our data is very safe. I saw the article on BBC saying that now being a Kenyan is now very risky because your data is all over. People are merchants of data.
Yeah, but that is now BBC.
I'm just saying.
An organization
opinion.
like us cannot say that because we defend Africa. And we are not going to accept.
The Huduma number is a good idea.
Yes.
Central assess all the activities. It makes the activities to be central. But most important, it makes the service to delivery to be very quick. So I would support Huduma number. But how we package it is very important. Government has to give us reassurance that we are safe with our data. Remember your birth certificate, everything, your fingerprint, everything is there.
My eyes are already taken. Yeah, for me. When I reach Heathrow Airport, I don't need to produce any passport.
Yeah.
That's good, safety.
It's for safety, yeah.
Yes.
It's a good idea. And
because
when I see the president launching such kind of programs,
I am very happy with what the president has done.
Because now that removes the fake workers, the ghost workers.
Yes.
It now be able to help us to plan.
Yes.
You can never plan unless you know how many you are.
Yes, and you cannot do resource mobilization strategy.
Unless you know how many you are. So we need to know exactly what that is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Matsanga.
I
really appreciate.
We are being given I don't know whether it is a warning or something that is coming. I don't know. But we have stabilized. We have a stabilizer that has stabilized about the power. I want to thank you very much, Dr. Sechere, for having, have I mentioned the name properly?
You have done very well.
Sechere! Thank you very much, Dr. Sechere, an expert in funding, expert in fundraising, expert in resource mobilization. A man who has strategies to mobilize more money for your organization. If you want any mobilization, any funding, any form that touches community, that touches institutions, talk to this man here. Your final word, this is your camera.
Thank you very much, viewers, for paying attention to what we've said. Definitely we are having a step forward. We can do better than we are doing today. And for those who seek resource mobilization, for the counties, I think it is important for us to focus on that. Deploy people who are going to be able to help us to do fundraising and getting other means of resources. Utilize local means of raising money. Utilize local available materials for sustainable development. That is what we need to do right now. And for Africa, we are rising. We are moving forward. It's becoming better. With people like Dr. Matsanga around, it will be better.
President Uhuru Kenyatta snubbed the Kisumu devolution meeting. Breaking news coming right now.
Snubbed means he did not attend.
Yeah, he did not.
What does that tell us? Me and you.
Tragedy.
And the viewers.
Tragedy. What it tells you is exactly what we have been just talking here.
Yes. That
there was no need of that conference. We had a conference.
Devolution conference.
We should have taken the entire conference in that place.
What they will have done is to train MCS in that conference.
No, even in that side. It was enough. Things could go side by side. You can't go on holding conferences when people are really in bad shape. It's a tragedy. And I think what the president did was the best thing that any person would have done. And we want to thank the president for saying, another conference. Kenyans are crying. Money.
Wait for the next conference for speakers and women MPs and.
I think they do that.
Yes.
Why don't we tell them to pay? Why don't you tell them to pay this money themselves?
From their pocket.
Yeah. Thank you very much, viewers. Thank you very, very much for all of you for having listened to us for the last 2 hours. And here we are under 80 minutes. We have arrived. This is the day before, the last Tuesday before crucifixion of Jesus Christ on Friday. And we pray that there will be no traitors between now and Friday.
Yes.
That we live to stand to see the crucifixion as the Pharisees. You know, we have been preaching and the Pharisees have been watching.
Yes.
The scribes.
Yes.
Do you remember them? Since you're a priest, You know, there's one character that I did not know. You resemble me in a character that you were a priest. My father took me to the first thing after senior secondary 4. Senior 4 in 1974. That's when I finished my senior 4. My father took me to a place called Bishop Tucker College. You know it, in Mukono.
Yes.
Picked the forms, my own father. I filled the forms and I was given a place to...
Reverend Father Matsanga?
Yeah! Yeah! Hallelujah! My dead father, my father, may your soul rest in peace. I swear I had never told you this secret. My father took me to church, to Bishop Tucker College. I filled the forms in a black pen, handed them back to the principal.
To be a father?
Yes, I had come with a mattress.
May the Lord be with you.
I had arrived with a mattress and everything. My uncle called Robert Kisuche. By then there were no mobile phones. In 1974, there were more mobile phones. And this is a true story which people of Kenya needed this story because they are so angry about all these things happening. Their money taken, corruption, what. You need a story to laugh about. My uncle said, where did they take this man this morning? My auntie said they went with the father to Mukono Bishop Tucker College. My uncle called Robert Kisuche. He's still alive, although not well, bit sickly. Uncle, I always pray for you. You taught me how to be clean, how to look after the shoes, how to iron my shirt, how to change my bed. Oh, uncle. My uncle said, Matanga to go to the bishop.
Not possible.
He called that while we are returning to Kampala from Mukono to go back to sleep there so that my father can go and do his politics. Now he has, you know, politics was restricted. How many days, no? Remember this father of mine left me with a metallic box. On the first day Idi Amin took power in 1971, 25th January in the morning, I was left with a metallic box on the road because the name of my father was among the district councillors they were looking for.
So
and it was on radio. So, and we are in the car going to my school.
As a priest?
Yeah, to Toronto. No, this is now senior 1. This priest is 1974. I finished the senior 4. I'm looking for to go to A levels. My uncle rang a trunker call, you know, it is called a trunker call to Bishop Tucker College. He said that admission is cancelled. I want Matanga to become an accountant. Listen to me, I suffered. My uncle Kisuche, still alive, brought me to take me to Nakawa School, University, School of Commerce, Uganda School of Commerce, Nakawa. He placed me there by force because he was a body member. He said, there, my results, you know, God gave me results in subjects that could not match. I'm telling you. And by then we are doing East African Certificate of Education, not this Ogundipe of yours. You did Ogundipe. Oh. You people were doing Makonde and this and that. Now me taught us. We did J.A. Bright. East African Certificate of Education. My certificate does not have Uganda Certificate of Education. East African Certificate of Education in conjunction with the University of Oxford, Cambridge, and Canterbury. Our exam papers were more guarded than Magoha. Because they flew in from direct. The day you are doing it, they fly in and they fly them out on East African Airways in the afternoon. They bring back the results. They were not marking these things here. You know, Africa has changed.
We have evolved.
Yes, there was Dr. Nelson Sechere. There was a social contract. Idi Amin did not even destroy it. He left, our exams were marked, not in Kampala. Our exams were marked in the East African Community Headquarters, very much away from us. The markers, the people marking our exams, were not our teachers in Uganda. Tanzanian exams were marked in Uganda. Ugandan exams were marked, Kenyan exams were marked in Tanzania, like that.
Interchange.
So there was no cheating.
Quality control.
Quality control, no cheating.
But
no.
Now we have actually diverted from that so much.
We have a problem, a disaster. Why don't you speak exactly?
We know we are training zombies.
Yeah, not even zombies. There's a bigger word which I don't want to use here. We have a problem here. We have no systems. So from a pastor like you, who was going to be a priest, a Catholic priest or monk, I don't know. I graduated, went to accountant. From there, the accountant, another uncle called Edward Tahuli, my uncle, came and said, no, he has to go for agriculture college. Busitema or Bukalasa. So this uncle said he's the national chief agriculture officer for the whole country. Then he picked a phone and called Bukalasa.
Called the high man?
Above.
The one above.
This guy can be fixed. Can you look at that? I am at the center of controversy. While I was there now, my father has returned saying he's disappointed. He said, I leave him to you. Do whatever you want to him, because me, I have a problem with this boy. This boy must become a pastor.
Priest. Bishop Matanga.
Bishop David oh my, yeah. The title would be rocking today.
Yeah, you'll be...
Yes.
You'll be a bishop now.
Yes. So another uncle said, Busitama to do agriculture, to be an agriculture officer with gum boots. You know those gum boots?
Yes, the gum boots.
Agriculture officers used to walk with those. We say, hey, agriculture officers arrived, or veterinary officer to look after the dips. My uncle said, no way. Let him come back to the city called Mbale. I was returned to this uncle of mine. The uncle went and got me a place in a school called Mbale Senior Secondary School, A-levels. To do you know what I was told to do? Mm-hmm. BCG. Divinity, and there is BCG, biology, geography, and chemistry. Because my combination was very confusing. Then divinity, English, and geography. So I said, if I do biology, chemistry, and geography, which was called BCG, I would have a problem because I failed in mathematics. Flat. I'm not good like you who counts money. I failed. I got a 9. 9 flat. God gave me miracle. I passed biology. Have you seen how my certificate confused everybody? I passed biology. I passed English literature.
Before you became a journalist.
Can you look at me? English literature with a distinction. The Shakespeare, the Julius Caesar, the Macbeth, the Conco, the Amalinze, the Cat. All those I can recite for you even today without looking at the books. The Lion and the Jewel. No longer it is. Mention them, I'll do for you. I passed.
Somebody says, Stephen Lemi says, Doctor, you are my father generation.
Yes, I am. So this uncle of mine is not well right now. He told me, you don't need to do those things, agriculture here. I want you to go to Makerere University. Go to Senior 5. I went to Senior 5 doing divinity. St. Luke, all the way from the port of Capernaum. Again, religion. the port of Capernaum, where Jesus fed 5,000 people. He moved from Capernaum. We used to call it Omwarogwe Capernaum. Moved all the way Jericho. Jesus is around Jericho now. He's about to, today, he's storming the temple. After storming the temple, he will disappear tonight. In those old Palestine, Bwana. This thing is still here.
I think you're a priest.
The signal is still here, Mama. So,
give us a word.
Viewers, that is the brief history of what some of us have done. And I have done my best. I studied there for about 1 semester. The headmaster there hated my uncle. He came one morning and sacked me, expelled me. So I joined the army. I became a rebel to fight Idi Amin. Battle-hardened man. I want to tell you the truth. You look at me here, I started knowing how to... what? Wagwan. So let's leave it to there. You need a book to write, and Miriam one of these days will sit down with her good English and deliver me a book. A very nice book. The history is very interesting. From a priest to accountant to a agriculture officer, ended up expelled in Senior 5 after enjoying divinity for 1 term.
And now, Punchline Africa.
Then later on, I end up not only a Punchline, but a senior consultant of Sky News. But before that, I ended up His Excellency the President, PA, like Jomo. So I know how.
Day on this.
So I know how to run when the president is running. The only thing is that I have weight, which I might not manage. For now, I'm growing old. I was a personal assistant. When Obote left, I left. The same day, the same time, we arrived in your county called Bohongo Stadium. And here I am today. Thank you very much. Welcome to the show and welcome to Punchline. You come tomorrow for capacity, resource capacity strategy. Resource what?
Resource
mobilization strategy. And the boardroom country. Some lady here says, the guest there, here on my, said you brought something they had not seen.
Yeah,
and
we have
amen.
to see something.
Let me say, and amen, and amen. Let me, he says, Stephen, let me say,
amen,
amen.
and amen.
So read the last word.
Amen and amen.
Doctor, you are my father's generation. Yes, Stephen, I don't want to hide, I don't lie. There are things that I don't lie. My children, my wife, and myself. Thank you very much, Washali, and everybody. Thank you very much, the crew from morning. Thank you very much, my co-anchor who is here. Thank you very much, Nelson, for coming. Make it a date. If you are around this country, every Tuesday, tell us the topic which you want to capacity on.
To build capacity?
No, to capacity on. Don't go into too many words. Let's talk Shenye a bit. Capacity on. Jet. Wagwan. So,
all right.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
I hope you have enjoyed your stay.
I've enjoyed my show. I'm very happy. Next time I'll come back again.
This station, therefore, is for Africa. With Africa, by Africa. Ciao.
must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.